Christmas, everybody. Welcome to the Christmas Countdown Show. My name is Eric Petersen. I'm here with my good buddy, Danny Jordan.
Hello.
We got Emilio over here.
He's back.
We got Chris Sisley coming to us live from Brooklyn.
Ones and twos.
Beard is
Wait,
looking
did
good,
he just
Chris.
give us the heart symbol?
Thank you. I give you the Korean heart symbol.
Dude.
Wait,
I don't know about this?
I don't know about this. I
Yeah.
mean, I guess I can
look,
see it.
Do you see it's the heart?
You just sort of cross your thumb and your pointer finger?
Here,
Like that.
I'm going
I
to
like
show
that.
my age here real quick. So this is like an emoji that you can do. I thought it was a snapping finger emoji.
Oh.
And I've always like sent people to be like, oh yeah, snap. Like,
Sure.
But I guess I've just been like, oh yeah, little baby heart.
I thought he was maybe doing more like an Italian, like, it's me, Chris Sicily. You know?
Coming to you from a Sicily.
Yeah. Wait, okay, I've got breaking news.
What?
Breaking
Jingle,
news.
hold on, huh?
I saw a thing the other day that is going to blow your mind.
Okay.
And I think it's true because I did do a minute of research about it. Did you know that when Mario
Yes.
of the Nintendo fame
Of the brothers
says,
fame, yeah.
it's me, Mario, right?
Yeah.
We all assumed for years that he's saying, it's a me, Mario, right?
Yes.
That he's an Italian, putting the A at the end, right? Itsumi, Itsumi in Japanese means super. He's saying, Itsumi, Mario. What Super Mario?
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Is that true?
Yes.
That's
I
been-
looked it up.
Really?
Yes.
You like looked it up on like Google Translate?
Yes.
Itsumi?
Yes.
Wow.
Itsumi means super in
Oh
Japanese.
my gosh.
Is that not like the craziest mind?
I feel like my childhood
Exploder?
has just been blown up in front of me. I just saw something last night that has nothing to do with Christmas or Mario Brothers, but similar idea. Somebody posted a screenshot of some like news segment that had the words Disneyland and then underneath it Disney World.
Right.
And in the middle of land is LA for Southern California, and in the middle of world is ORL for Orlando.
That is pretty
And
good.
I was like, they couldn't have
that
planned
can't be on purpose.
that.
No.
right?
But that's a very astute observation.
It just feels like, again, like meant to be
Yeah,
sort of
yeah,
situation.
yeah.
Well, welcome to Christmas Countdown.
We're here. We're here. This is episode number 8 of season 4.
That's wild.
We have a great list today. We're doing our top 5 Christmas aesthetics.
Very timely for us.
Aesthetics, hard word to spell.
Aesthetics.
Yes.
How do you spell it?
Aesthhics.
Wait, where'd the I come? That was aesthetics.
How do you spell aesthetics, Danny? Jeez,
You're like, I didn't know I was showed up to spelling countdown here.
Jeez Louise.
Aesthetics.
I don't think you're right. I don't.
You don't think
you're
so?
right. No.
Can I get a ding or a if I'm wrong there?
I think Danny was right.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, great.
But that's what friends.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Bye bye.
We lost Eric. It only took 8 episodes. Anyway,
Eric's tired.
I
Eric
know.
hasn't slept in a while.
but we're going to get through this together. Friendship. We were just talking about that before we went on today. It's sort of like the reality of like life and the season. When we chatted about this in the last episode, it's just, because we've been receiving so many great messages from people who are sort of sharing where they're at in life. And that's a big part of what we want to bring to you guys is sort of the reality, because we want our show to bring you joy, right?
Yes.
And we want our show to bring you merriment as you're navigating, maybe a difficult time in your life or trying to find the spirit of the season. But I think part of the reason why people are able to maybe reconnect with the spirit of the season is that we're not bombarding them with, jingle bells and like elves dancing and all the time. It's like, hey, I went through this. I lost my dog. All these sorts of things that are real life type things. And I think that's why people feel like they can reconnect, because we give them permission to feel the full scope
Wherever you're at.
of emotion. And I'll share more about that later on in the episode. But do want to remind you guys, if you're not subscribing already, please make sure you subscribe to the show wherever you are listening. That way you don't miss an episode. Plus, you can go back and listen to our full back catalog of over 80 episodes.
Which a lot of people have been doing.
They have been doing that, and we appreciate that so much. So make sure you rate and review, subscribe wherever you're listening. Also follow us on social media. We are at Christmas Countdown Show on Instagram, TikTok, Threads. You can also watch full episodes of the show on youtube.com/countdown network.
Can I just say also, I'm glad that we don't really talk about X anymore. And not about any kind of political thing or Elon Musk or anything like that. Think on that what you will. That's not what this show's about.
Right.
But I just like that had a different username for us, and now we don't have to say we're this on these 3 things
Yes.
and this on X.
Do you know, every time I say the social handles, in my mind, I ask myself the question, should I also mention this other platform. I actually logged into our account on said platform like 2 weeks ago because I was like, what's going on over there? Like, have we blown up? And I just don't.
Right.
No, we haven't. No. And so I posted a couple times and I was like, why am I doing this? It's just like, it's silly.
We're off it.
Yeah, we're off it. So if you want like that short, like texty content, Threads is the place that we do it. And it's super turnkey for us because we can just go to one platform and just sort of be done with it. Anyway, do you want to give a shout out? We've had some new Patreon people who have joined since we were last together. Last week, do you want to shout those peeps out?
We have Venice Beach Dub Club.
Yes.
That's a great name.
What a name.
Great name. Now, we have to pull back the curtain a little bit, Danny.
That's what we love to do here.
You told me the other day when we were at Big Bear that some people have been telling us that these amazing screen names that we've been reading over the years, that they've not chosen them. That it's true. It has just been assigned to them from the algorithm, right?
It's an auto-generated
username. So I feel a little bad if we've ever like massacred your username because we thought like this says everything about who you are as a person, and it may have just been assigned to you by Apple. But this sounds pretty good. Venice Beach Dub Club, which is also known as Seth.
Yes, Seth is a long time listener.
Yes. What's up, Seth?
What's up, Seth? And Seth is a member, has been in and out of the Patreon. We have people who will sort of, come in for the holiday season, and then they take a little hiatus and then come back. But Seth is awesome. Seth just joined as a tree topper.
Tree topper.
So we just mailed out Seth's show ornament the other day. So if you want a show ornament like Seth, you can check out our Patreon page and join our tree topper level.
Have we told our tree toppers that they need to send us a picture if they want to be put on the actual treetop of our tree?
If by we, if you mean Danny,
yes.
The Danny part of the we equation has not sent those messages.
All right. Well, if you're listening to this,
but no, I will do it today, so that way I'm 6-7 days ahead of when they would be sending them. So I will do that today. You have my word.
We have a couple other Patreon fellows. I almost said fellas, and then I saw some lady names. And so then I tried to change fellas into fellows at the last second. Fellas.
And fellas.
What's up to Helen, Amy, and Lisa?
All fellas.
All fellas.
Would that be how you say that? Like if you wanted to do like a feminine version of fellow? Because fella is also masculine.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because like hermano and hermana. In Spanish.
I don't know what that means.
Well, it's like masculine versus feminine, so brother or sister.
Okay.
Or like amigo, amiga.
Yeah.
But we don't really have that version in our language. We like to give entirely different words.
Fellas and gals.
Guys and gals.
Guys and gals.
Guys and dolls.
What's up to Helen, Amy, and Lisa? Merry Christmas. Thanks for joining the Patreon.
We're so grateful for you all. And as mentioned a moment ago, if you want to join our Patreon community, it's a great chance not only to get bonus episodes, because we do a new one of those every 2 weeks. You also get ad-free versions of every episode. We know that a lot of times there's a lot of ads playing on our shows these days. So if you're like, I'm over the ads, join the Patreon. It's a way to get the ad-free version. Plus, and I think this is the best part of all, is that you get to be a part of this incredible community online that just keeps growing and is there for each other. The page has been blowing up recently. Like people are, we've started this thing called Festive Fridays, where I just had this idea a couple weeks ago. I went shopping or something like that. I was like, Happy Festive Friday. And then everyone now will start every Friday to like, here's what I'm doing to celebrate Festive Friday. So if you're looking for people who are obsessed with Christmas just like you, join our Patreon and you can connect with those peeps.
Yes. We have some reviews to read.
Oh, this first one is...
This one is good. So if you listened last week, we did our top 5 new catchphrases for Santa Claus.
Yes.
And both Danny and I tried to be as cool and with it as we could.
I think you were more cool and more with it.
I have children that are of the age that are speaking all this kind of
fair.
stuff.
Like if I asked my kids, they'd be like something to do with toilet humor.
Sure,
likely, yeah.
But the first review is from let's see if I can make this bigger. I can't in my eyes. Savannah.
Yeah.
Savannah Foster. Do you think it's actually Foster, or do you think it's Savannah Foster? It's Foster, but she's Australian.
Australian for Foster. That's a great question because I was thinking it was like Savannah Fasa.
Fasa, like she's from Massachusetts.
Yeah.
I like that too.
Yeah.
And so it says Skibbity Toilet is the name of the review. It's 5 golden stars, and then it says what the Sigma. I don't really know what that means.
Is that good?
I don't know.
It's got a lot of exclamation
points. A lot of exclamation points and not question marks.
No, and
what
it's
the
all
Sigma
caps.
seems like it should be a question, but
Can you guys, Chris or Emilio, can somebody Google if someone says what the Sigma? Does that mean like,
Is that good or bad?
wow, I love this?
All right. Emilio's looking it up
Emilio is typing away furiously.
live from a cave.
According to Google, there's multiple meanings. A slang expression that conveys surprise or excitement.
Ooh.
Okay.
It's not a formal phrase and should be used with caution in professional settings. Teen slang can be great. Expletives can mean what the
Yeah.
high-achieving individual, though, is also another term for Sigma, usually in a Sigma male.
Okay.
So we.
But I said it. I like that it said use caution when using this.
Yeah.
phrase.
Every Gen Z, this was definitely written by someone who's not Gen Z. They're like, use caution,
caution.
when you're talking like these kids.
Don't go into any situation and just drop a what the Sigma.
But is that like
Yeah, I think that's
Okay.
like
What the Sigma?
yeah.
But like what the Sigma?
But also, why skibbity toilet? Because I have heard Miles say that. What does that mean? Can you
Isn't
look up
that-
skibbity
So,
toilet?
It's a
I-
show, right?
I know a little bit about it. It's basically
He's hanging out on the set of Skibbity Toilet now.
Please
Look at
don't put
Emilio.
me there. Please don't put me there. Basically, from what I understand, it started off as a YouTube show some
Okay.
guy was making, and it's like about a war or a battle between human toilet hybrids and something else.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And it just kind of.
But what is it?
Evolved.
Is it a phrase? Does it like
I think the skibbity is just the type of.
I think that's like,
Creature.
oh, that's rad. Like, oh, that's Skibbity.
yeah.
Am I right about that? Like if you
It's
say,
a dude whose head is coming out of a toilet.
but if you say like, oh, that's Skibbity, does that mean
What
like?
does it mean to say? Refers to a meme that started from a YouTube series about an army of toilets who try to take over the world.
Right. But like, is it like, oh, remember we used to say, oh, that's bad.
Right.
But that meant like cool and good.
This is so Gen Z. I'm
We're
not
all
Gen
above
Z.
it.
Like this is way.
Chris, do you have any feelings from Brooklyn about this?
I think Emilio got it pretty much right. My son's on a skibbity toilet in a phase right now where he just says it constantly. And it is about toilets with heads that come out of them battling against people with like electronics for heads.
So why do you think that this person wrote skibbity toilet as the title of their
Yeah.
review? Is it just like that's something that you say?
It might be. I think the person that created it is also foreign to the U.S.
Okay.
So there may be like a language situation where maybe they just pulled
Something
couple
sounded
words
American.
that sounded English or words that sounded like people in America said them. Like
It
skibbity.
is. I was at Disney with Sophie a couple months ago, and we were in line for Indiana Jones, and some kid, like, I don't even remember what it was, but some kid was like, Noah. Somebody was like, Ark. It wasn't Noah's Ark. I don't know why I chose that as the words, but it was something like some random kid yelled a word,
Yeah.
and then a different kid from a different group like had a response, and then all the kids all kind of giggled.
Wait, what?
And then it started happening, and I was like, what is happening? And Sophie was like, it's like a thing in school. Somebody like yells this word, and then everybody else like responds to it, and I was like, okay.
Dude, we are so out of
We're
the loop.
legitimately old. Listen, I feel bad. I love SNL, and I watch SNL every single week.
Yeah.
And I have gotten to the point where I don't know who a lot of the music artists are. And not even like, well, I don't know their music, but I've heard like Chappell Roan. Okay, I don't know like a ton of Chappell Roan songs, but I know who Chappell Roan is.
Right. Pink Pony Club.
But like there's music artists that come on SNL now that I'm like, I've literally never heard the name of this band ever.
You know what would be funny
makes
is
me
if
feel
SNL did a skit that was like super meta,
Mm-hmm.
where it was like the host comes out, it's like, make some noise for
Brick Wall.
Carl Tompkins, and like the whole crowd is clapping, and somebody's like, this guy like just like mouthing like, who is this person? Because do you think that's how our parents felt
Yes.
when we were younger and like, you know, I don't know, Ja Rule or whoever was
Sure.
performing, we're like, Ja Rule's on SNL.
Yeah.
Oh man,
It is.
You know what I've always wondered about SNL? Speaking of this, has nothing to do with Christmas or anything, but the performance stage for the musical acts. I want to know what the dimensions are of that stage because it has got to be minuscule.
It's pretty
right?
small, but they have in the last like 4 or 5 years, they've started to allow acts to bring in their own sets.
Oh, really?
And so not everybody does it, but I think it may have started with Kanye, but like he did a thing where he like basically put up a green screen around like the whole thing and then
Oh,
put himself in different spots. And so, yeah, it used to be that they just stood in that sort of like subway set
Right.
and they just performed there. But now a lot of them do their own thing.
But when you had like, groups like NSYNC or like Aerosmith where like it wasn't just an artist, like it was a lot to try to fit and try to get a vibe that meshed with who they were. Yeah. Have you ever been to a taping of SNL?
No, I've been to the set and I've walked on the set, but I've never been to a taping.
I want to go.
Yeah.
We're gonna let's put that on our
Someday.
Christmas list
Someday.
for the season. Anyway,
you want to read the next one there?
I love that we just did a full 7-minute segment
Skibbity
that
Toilet?
basically just demonstrated how out of touch we are with the youth of today. Anyway, thank you, Savannah Fosse. We appreciate you. All right, this next one. The way I imported these this week, do I need reading glasses? These are so small.
It's very small, and then they're not able to be enlarged.
If you turn it sideways, though, look, it gets bigger.
Okay.
Did yours do that? Okay. All right. So this one, I realized, so it's interesting with Apple, not all of our reviews will pop up. It only will populate for us here in the U.S. reviews left by people who are in the U.S. So you can go to this site and it'll show you reviews that have come from outside of the United States. So this one is coming to us from somebody named Canadian Gal. And would you guess it? They're from Canada. And the title of this review is Love You Guys. I randomly found you guys while searching for an uplifting, fun Christmas podcast. You guys are amazing. So much light and warm Christmas vibes. I find myself taking notes on things to check out or buy, as well as laughing out loud a lot. Thank you for your wonderful spirits. Keep doing what you do.
I love that.
Isn't that kind?
Thank you, Canadian gal.
Yes.
Merry Christmas to you up north.
Eh?
Up north there. All right, the next one here. This one is coming from... it says the start of Christmas.
And the username's at the bottom left.
Oh, it says click member. That feels that feels made up by Apple.
No, that's current. Have you seen that? Where is
member?
it pronounced click or clique? Have you seen that thing that's trending
Now I have no
on
idea
social
what you're
media? I don't know if it was somebody who was.
This is I am showing myself to be the oldest man ever.
Yeah, it's this thing that's trending on social media. Everyone's doing this version. I saw some Disney creators. They did it the other day where their whole group is is it pronounced click or clique? And they're like, click. And they also snap at the same time. I don't know if that's what this person is going for here.
Well, we'll find out here.
We're going to find out. Yeah.
So click member from Apple Podcasts from Ireland.
Ireland.
I love it. All right, we'll read it with an Irish accent.
Oh, there it is.
Here we go. The start of Christmas. The true start of Christmas is when I see Danny and Eric show up in my feed again. The perfect way to get into the Christmas spirit is to have the two most holiest and holiest. I said holiest.
I was like, wow.
Holiest and jolliest host chatting and counting down the weeks. I look forward to every episode, and it's an insta listen as soon as it appears. P.S. I love all the waffle. The more, the merrier. I like that. The waffle.
The waffle.
That's this. You're in the waffle right now.
You are so deep in the waffle right now,
Yes.
folks. This is Waffle House, basically. We are the Waffle House of podcasts.
Yeah,
I've heard.
we're always on.
Whenever I'm
Always open.
at a pancake restaurant, ironically, they're like, "Oh, Waffle House." Anyway, thank you, Click,
Yes,
Iconique member. We appreciate you. Yeah, I love that you called us the holiest
we are.
of hosts.
Yeah, we try.
And I was like, I probably got some ex-girlfriends who would disagree with that. That's a dig on myself. All right. So this next message we're going to share is actually one that came to us via email. Really, really great, heartfelt message that's coming to us from Nick, who's a long-time listener of the show. So buckle up because this one hits the feels. All right. Nick goes on to say, I guess he doesn't go on to say because he hadn't said anything yet.
Sure.
Eric and Danny, I've wanted to sit down and reach out to you guys for a while now, but as we get deeper into the holiday season, there seems to always be something else to be busy with. I've been a listener since season 1 and have enjoyed sharing in your love of all things Christmas, and Christmas Countdown Show has become a part of my Christmas tradition. Awesome. It's the best. I'm sure many other listeners share the same sentiment I do, and that is that we feel like we know you guys. You have become our friends and part of our families, even though we have never met in person. Eric, I love listening to you describe the holiday season feelings as well as all your Christmas party tips and tricks. Your Christmas parties sound epic. Danny, I enjoy listening to you talk about your kids, and the love you have for your family is so evident. You're very intentional with them, and I hope I am able to love and communicate that way with my kids. Thank you guys for sharing with the world your love for your families and for Christmas. On a recent episode, you guys counted down the top movie soundtracks, and something Danny said really connected with me. Danny mentioned that his parents got divorced when he was really young and that his parents then remarried and had other families of their own. This resonated with me so much that I just played this portion of the episode for my wife because you articulated how I felt growing up so much better than I could ever explain to her. I come from a broken home. I was shuffled around on holidays, like you said, and like you said, never really feeling like I belonged and feeling alone. I was always going to my mom's house or my dad's house and never my house. Anyway, I guess what I'm saying is that your podcast means more to people than you might realize. I so wish I could be at the live recording this year with you guys, but living in Illinois, the cost to do so around this time of year is just not feasible for me right now. I'm going to start saving now in hopes that a live episode recording becomes a thing that you continue to do in the future, and that one day I will be able to come and meet you guys and thank you in person for the light you are shining into so many lives like mine. Thank you, Merry Christmas, and God bless. Nick.
Oh, Nick, that's awesome.
Isn't that kind?
That's really a very incredibly sweet email, and we wish you a very Merry Christmas.
Yep.
And as we say, whenever we get these really heartfelt emails, like it means the world to us that we're able to, be any part of your Christmas celebrations and traditions, and if we can bring any kind of healing or understanding or even just a place that you feel heard or seen or understood, that's really the goal.
That is always the goal, and we sort of chatted about this at the top of the episode, and I'll just take this moment to sort of, recognize the fact that I think, Eric, I don't know if you're going through this, but like for me personally, I was driving home yesterday and it was, kind of around like nightfall. I was actually driving my daughter home from preschool, and it was around like 5:15. The lights are starting to come on because it's getting dark here. And, some part of me was like feeling this like sense of like, oh, I need to be excited about all the Christmas lights that I'm seeing start to come on. And I feel like we put like a lot of pressure, or at least I put a lot of pressure on myself. And a big part of it is like this show, and sort of what we do to like make sure that every moment of Christmas feels magical and to feel like so caught up in the wonder of the season and every song I hear and every movie I watch and every Christmas light display I see and every gift I buy. And I just think that's unrealistic.
Yeah.
And I just want to take a moment to say that because I know that if I'm feeling it, as Nick just shared with us there, that there's, even if it's one person out there who's feeling a similar thing right now, maybe they're out shopping for gifts or they're driving around at night and, seeing Christmas lights, and maybe they're not feeling that same connection that they feel like they're supposed to. There's no supposed to.
No.
When we were kids, we weren't like, oh, I'm supposed to be excited about Christmas. I'm supposed to be excited about seeing this movie. If something excited us, it excited us. Mm-hmm. And if it didn't, it didn't. And we didn't feel like there was something wrong with us because it didn't. So as you're in the holiday season and maybe you're trying to chase this feeling that you feel like you're supposed to have because we talk about merriment on the show, or you see something on social media or a news story about the joy of the holiday season and you're not feeling that, I want you to know that it's okay.
Yeah. And also you don't have to do it. You don't have to feel those feelings like in a performative way, you know, like just live your life and know that those things that could make you feel uplifted or excited are there. And when you're ready to like have it be exciting for you, it'll be there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I guess what I mean by that is like, you don't have to drive down the street and be like, wow, look at everything that's happening. It could be that you're just at home and you put on a Christmas movie and maybe just for a brief moment of it, you're like, I love Christmas. Yeah. And that's enough. That's enough.
100%.
You don't have to have a sort of like, and whether that's just for yourself or especially if you're a parent, I think a lot of times as parents, we feel this sense of like, I have to make it all magical. And we talk about this all the time, how, we read that poem about, you are the memories that your kids have for you. And that's a lot of pressure to deal with. And so, I think the lesson of it all is just that it's not all sunshine and rainbows all the time.
Right.
It's not all holly and jingle bells all the time. And we have to try to let this season be something that can open your heart if you're feeling a little stuffed up, or stopped up, however you want to think of it. But don't feel like you have to do it for anybody else's benefit or even for your own. Just like know that sort of like sense of magic and wonder and hope is there. And also, I think that this, right now we're in the early days of December. I think this is that kind of tricky moment where we're not quite at like actual Christmas moments and,
Right.
Christmas Eve and Christmas morning and all that. But it feels like, well, it's December and there's Christmas music on and the lights are up. And so we got to be in it. But that's a hard feeling to sort of like hold on to for a full month. So, so no pressure, people. Just live your life. Be happy.
Yeah, no pressure at all. And also, like, just because something excited you as a kid doesn't mean that it has to excite you as an adult. And if it doesn't, that there's something wrong with you.
Yep.
Like, we can create new memories. We can find new things that excite us. And speaking of, that reminds me of something I wanted to chat about. So recently, I think I mentioned this in the last episode, that I took my daughter Emerson to Disneyland, and because my wife and my other daughter Riley have been sick, finally it seems like they finally turned a corner. It was just the two of us, and like I know you've had just days with Miles, like some of those days with just, not to say it's not great when you're with your whole family, but when you just get a chance to maybe go with one of your kids and just sort of like really just observe them and focus on them and let them sort of like dictate the day. It's really, really special. But there was a moment, we were standing over to the left of the castle. There's that like where they have like the little theater, the little amphitheater, outdoor theater. And then they have the Princess Fair, and Emmy, that's like where she always wants to start her day. And we'd finished that and we were waiting in line outside because Snow White was like doing a little meet and greet by the castle. And the first parade was coming by.
Yeah.
And Emmy's like making friends with some kid in line. And I just looked over and I had like just what you were talking about there, of just a little moment where I saw the parade coming by and I saw like Mickey and Minnie on the float, like waving at kids and like kids waving back at them and hearing the music play. And something in my heart just felt happy and joyful. And like, I was like, you know what? Those are the little moments, it doesn't have to be 30 days straight of that. Like, that's unrealistic, And so I was so grateful to have that one moment, and I will hold on to that moment, and I'm sure many, many others throughout the holiday season. But overall, we had a great time. We were so fortunate. We ran into a friend of ours who had like camped out. We didn't even know they were there, and they grabbed a spot on the parade route like 2 hours before the parade, and it was like prime location. And we happened to just see them, and they're like, "Hey, just go ride rides, and if you want, come back and sit with us." And we did. And Emerson, I've never seen her like this with a parade ever. She was like dancing along the entire time. The whole group we were with was dancing. She was waving at Santa, and afterwards she was like, "Daddy, did you like see when Santa he waved at me?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Baby, I did. I saw that." And it was a super, super special moment. I love Disney and the holidays. So just needed to bring that up and sort of encapsulate that moment. But speaking of moments with our families, all right?
Yeah. We just got back from, you lost a present there.
Hey, no spoilies, no spoilies.
We got back from Big Bear. So we went up to Big Bear this weekend. We recorded a little bit of content. A big thank you to Destination Big Bear, who got us up there and got us an amazing cabin. And it was so fun. I love Big Bear. I love being up there in the sort of season. Even though there wasn't much snow, you still felt that kind of mountain wintry vibe. We played a bunch of board games, and we golfed. Danny and I golfed one hole over and over and over again.
We did,
which was very fun. We'll release a little mini bonus episode for that.
Yep.
We saw the tree lighting, just barely.
It was such a. Eric and I talk about this in the full bonus episode, but we'll give you guys a little taste of it here. So we got there on Friday, and the tree lighting for Big Bear was Friday night.
Yes.
And so, like, we got checked in the cabin. We wanted to get ourselves
and it
settled.
Said 4:30 to 7:30.
It did. So
That's
large window of time.
Large window.
And you're like, well, they're not going to light the tree till it's dark.
Right.
Right. And so, fortunately, we were able, because Destination Big Bear was so kind to us, and they hosted us in this stunning cabin. They also set us up with parking, which was like a block away from the tree lighting. So I think we're like, oh, we won't have to struggle for parking. We'll just get there. It'll be chill. And so we park, and we're walking up, and you can like kind of muffle hear what's happening on the stage.
Sounds like a counting down-y kind of thing.
And as we're getting closer, like, oh, that's definitely a countdown-y sort of thing. And we were probably about like 100 yards away.
Maybe a little more, but not much more.
And I think you and I both had like a dad moment at the same time where we realized, we're like, 3, 2, like, because we wanted our kids to like
But
sense
they
what
were
was
they were
happening.
just thinking like we just got out of the car. We're just like trying to walk down to the thing. But yeah, both of our kids were like, I think I missed it. And I was like, well, it's like you close your eyes, they're off, and then you open your eyes and they're on. So you didn't miss it. You saw it.
I was like, I saw it.
Yeah, and it was fun. And we walked around, and Big Bear, the little town there, was great and all lit up. And
we made a music video,
we did make a music video.
which was thrilling, and
It
it's
was.
out. So if you haven't seen it yet, go to our Instagram
We
page
did.
and check it out.
We also went sledding with the families and stuff.
Yeah,
It was
that
great.
was super fun. Did you find that? So there were like 4 different. There was like all the same hill,
Mm-hmm.
but there were sort of like 4 different
Tracks,
you would sort of go. One of them was definitely faster.
I didn't
Than
find
the
any
other
of them to
3.
be faster. I
Oh,
felt-
really?
Yeah, and I went down all of them.
It was the far one.
Yeah, I didn't think that.
Oh,
one was
really?
fast.
Because the second one was definitely the slowest. It was a little mushy.
Okay,
Because it was like, let's be honest here, it was like 60 degrees.
at least.
And there was some guy, did you notice him walking down the hill, scattering salt
Yeah, yeah.
everywhere to try to like preserve the snow as
yeah.
much as they could. And I think you and I both like went bundled up, like, ooh, this is going to
Yeah.
be chilly.
Didn't
By
really
the end, I
need
was
it.
like, my sleeves on like
Yeah.
my hoodie.
Most
were
people
all-
were in t-shirts.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Shorts and surfboards. But it was a great time, and we really, really need to give a huge shout out and thank you to Destination Big Bear.
Yeah.
They're an incredible company that does vacation rentals essentially, but specifically for the city of Big Bear Lake, Big Bear Mountain. If you go to destinationbigbear.com, they have a great search tool there where you can. Basically, you're like, I want 2 bedrooms or whatever you're sort of looking for, price range, all that sort of stuff. And if you're, local to Southern California or you're able to drive, you're just looking for like a really picturesque place that's maybe not as big and massive as like an Aspen or Mammoth or whatever, Tahoe. Big Bear's got that like small town feel, and it's got all the shops, it's got all the restaurants. So check out destinationbigbear.com. They're not just great in the wintertime, but summer as well.
I'd only been to Big Bear one other time, and I went 4th of July, and it was amazing.
It's incredible,
Yeah.
right? You can go
And
out
it's
there.
amazing to me. We were saying this in the cabin that so many of these amazing cabins just sit empty, like either during the week and they're just getting rented out on the weekends or whatever. But it's crazy to me that such a cool little idyllic town has so many empty spots that you can come choose to visit in.
Yeah. So whatever your pleasure, they got you.
Yeah.
And real quick before we move on to our next little conversation piece, I've got you a little Big Bear gift
Oh boy.
to commemorate
Oh boy.
our trip.
All right, a
up
great
there.
bag. We talked about the bags last time. This
Bags
is a
are
good
great.
bag. It says ho 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 ho. A lot of hose. All right, I'll give you that back.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll
I
give
think you're
you
really gonna love this.
this back.
Yeah.
Oh, there's another one. Wait, maybe it might be in it.
It's
Oh,
in
this
there,
is
yeah.
in it. Okay. Let's see here. Where did you find it?
It was under the cabin next to us.
Oh,
under
the one that
deck.
we said we weren't going to go get.
Yes.
That's hilarious. Okay, it's a golf ball, everybody. It is a golf ball that I hit into a neighbor's yard. And we decided, as we looked at it, they had a big sign that said, please do not retrieve golf balls.
Yep.
And so we were just like, we'll just leave that one.
Yep.
But Danny retrieved
But I went and got it. And
That's
fun
pretty good.
fact, while I was retrieving that, I found your other one too.
Which other one?
The white one that we
The
thought
first one that went left
straight
right over the hot
towards
tub.
the house.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
I think it must have hit the tree in front of it
Yep.
and dropped.
And then just dropped.
Because it was under that same deck all the way at the other side.
Consistency.
Yeah.
Consistency.
But that's a Pro V1, so I'm keeping that one. So
That's not right.
I feel like
That's
that's
not
fair.
right
I
at
went and
all.
Got it.
That's not right at all.
Okay, if you're out golfing, you find one in the bush, do you go to the clubhouse and go, oh, I didn't want to lose a
Not if I know it's
a
my buddies.
Callaway?
Not if I know it's my
In
buddies.
all fairness, though, my daughter wants to keep it. And, do you want to make a guy say, at least I brought you one.
Oh, my
and I
gosh.
risked life and limb.
And you took the orange one though too.
Well, that's mine. That's
That
my
was my ball.
But I said it's my souvenir to commemorate our first time playing golf. I have a shelf of special golf balls in my garage
Well, there
of
you
like
go.
my first Eagle.
I didn't know that.
Is on there.
There
So
you
that one I'm gonna and I write on them like what made them special, the date, the course. So I'm gonna write on there the date. Big Bear. Eric and I played.
We're
golf
very
for the
lucky
first time.
that I didn't break a window.
Twice.
I hit 2 shots dangerously close or through or over buildings.
You have to listen to the bonus episode.
It's pretty good.
If you're not, a paid subscriber, maybe what if we just release that one, that bonus one,
Sure.
on our Patreon?
There's not much Christmas
on the
in it.
free
It's a lot
page.
of golf talk.
It's a lot of golf, but you will hear the moment Eric makes contact with the
Great
ball.
shot.
It went very straight.
Straight and long and good contact.
Just straight to the
It
left.
just, I wouldn't even say left. It went where I aimed,
Yes.
and my fade did not come into
It
play.
never came back. But I know I had a very loud reaction to when the ball came off your club.
Yeah.
I may have sent Chris a note afterwards saying, can you just keep an
that
ear out for maybe things we might have said. But that was a blast.
Yes. Super fun.
Yeah. And you and I have been having a lot of fun over the last week.
Yes.
We went golfing together. And I mentioned this a moment ago. We shot a music video to what might be one of my favorite new songs to come out
It's very catchy.
this holiday season.
Very catchy.
I cannot stop singing it. My children cannot stop singing it. They know the words now. My 3-year-old, I put it on in the truck this morning as we were driving to school, and she knows the whole chorus. And that song is Officially Christmas.
Officially Christmas.
Oh my gosh.
It's really catchy.
It's a bop.
It is. It's very catchy.
It's
by
so
Dan
good.
and Shay.
By Dan and Shay, who you chatted about on the show. Was it last season or maybe 2 seasons ago?
2 seasons ago, yeah.
There was a song of theirs that you brought up, which I think was it "Take Me Home for Christmas" or "Holiday Party"? Let's have
I think
a
Holiday Party.
party.
Holiday Party.
So their new album is a 2-disc collection,
dual disc.
a dual disc or
Yeah.
dual vinyl, because I think it's available on vinyl as well, or you can stream it on your favorite platform. So what I love about it is that it's sort of similar to other artists we've talked about, where like they'll release a Christmas album where one disc or one album is like all the standards, the ones we know, like Silent Night, Winter Wonderland, Let It Snow, but then the second is all new stuff.
Yeah.
And us, as I'm sure so many people out there are, very similar, is that we love the classics, but we love modern.
Yeah.
And they give you both
I like that.
on this.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan.
Tight harmonies.
Toit.
Harmonies.
They're great.
They're very good.
Do you know their story? Like, have you looked into
don't.
them? So I think one of them was like in another group.
Okay.
And I think another one was a songwriter. And if I'm wrong about this, Dan and Shay, I'm so sorry. You can come on the show and correct me. But like they sort of met up and did like a writing session together.
Okay.
And then they realized that like they just had great chemistry and they wrote really great stuff. I think they may have written songs for other people.
Okay.
Sort of how like Meghan Trainor had started out like writing
Yeah.
for other people. And then they realized like, hey, we can write great stuff together as well.
Yeah.
And they're crushing the game.
Yeah.
They sort of remind me a little bit of Rascal Flatts.
Yeah.
Like their style and their harmony.
They do have a nice high sort of tenory melodic singer, which is great. Yeah, I love them. I think they're great. And they write very jaunty music. Like it's upbeat feels a little too easy. Like upbeat feels like it's not that. It's like jaunty. It's not and they have plenty of good ballads, but their up-tempo stuff like Holiday Party, like It's Officially Christmas, it's bouncy,
Like it's rooted in like country, right? That's where they come from, but it crosses over
it's more pop.
very, very well.
Yeah.
And I love their vibe. Like the album art is so cool. And like, how do Eric and I like recreate this in our lives? Anyway, if you have not checked out their new album, It's Officially Christmas, the double album by Dan and Shay. Wherever you stream music, you can get it. Highly recommend buying the disc. You could gift it to people this holiday season. I actually just saw it. I was out shopping the other day, and I was like, this would be a great little stocking stuffer I could give somebody this holiday season.
I love that. I ordered a gift for my son that I'm going to talk about it because he doesn't listen to the show, so I can
You're
talk
gonna
about
risk it?
I'm going to risk it.
Okay.
Because I know he doesn't. I'm aware of his every move.
What if Lisa's listening to it and like...
She knows it too.
Okay.
So I think I've talked about this artist Perry Grip
Yes.
that my son loves.
Yeah.
Who is he's a guy. He was the lead singer, I think, of Nerf Herder back in the 90s.
Okay.
And now he writes these super catchy, silly kid songs,
Yeah.
Like his biggest one is "It's Raining Tacos
Oh, yes.
from out of the sky."
Yes.
Tacos, right? And he has like "Space Unicorn Flying Through the Sky." They're all like these big epic songs, very silly. I mean, if he was here right now, he could write a song that would be like, "Cup, I'm holding a cup. Cups are great. Cups are great." Like they're just very silly, quick little songs. But my son Miles loves them, and there is a a saga. I believe he calls it the Taco Saga, something like that. And it starts with like it's raining tacos, and then there's a guacamole tsunami, and then there's like burritos that come into play to save the town. It's a whole thing, but it's being released on vinyl, and it's called the Taco Saga by Perry Grip. And so I ordered it, and he's gonna love it.
What a great gift,
he's
man.
Gonna really. I don't think he even knows it exists. So that's the best kind of gift when you know it's like perfect for them, but they don't even know that it exists.
That's the best.
We should talk about. I was telling you about this right before we got on. If you have a Spotify premium account, which I do, because it's kind of sad to me that I don't like buy music anymore. It's just I have all these playlists that I save on Spotify, but it's the world we live in. But if you have a premium Spotify account, they kind of quietly released a new feature that is an AI feature that allows you to, and I've tried it, that you can put in through their little part of the app. And the way to find it is if you just go into the search bar and you type in AI, and then there's something that says AI genre, and then it allows you to go to it. And you can just type in, I want songs that are Christmassy, that make it feel like I'm sitting in a log cabin with a cup of hot cocoa and has a really vintagey feel. And then it'll go boop, 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 and then it'll give you a playlist of all songs that like give you that kind of vibe or feel. You want to try it?
Yes. Can we please try it?
All right, let's try it. Here we go. Let me pull it up here. I'm going to search AI, boom, AI playlist.
Ooh.
Okay. Tell me your ideas. So you could say things like, songs I might like from today's top hits. That's pretty generic.
Could we do something that's like aesthetic related, because that's our whole countdown
That is true. Okay.
this week?
So let's say...
But don't spoil one of your aesthetics.
Sure. I'd like a music playlist that feels like I'm in London in the 1950s, but it's Christmas time and I'm lonely.
Ooh.
I'm sad and lonely.
Okay.
Let's see what
London
happens.
feels like a great place to celebrate a lonely Christmas.
Okay. Playlist that feels like I'm in London in the 1950s, but it's Christmas time and I'm sad and lonely. There we go.
See what it comes up with. This is so cool.
It says, let me jam on that for a minute.
It's jamming.
Tweaking some things. Wait a second. It says, this attempt wasn't a hit. Oh,
What?
I guess it's trying again. I may have been too specific. Let's see. Give it a second. Okay, getting songs. Here we go. All right, so it starts with White Christmas
By
Bing Crosby.
Okay.
Okay, that makes sense. July by Noah Cyrus. As the World Caves In by Matt Maltese. That's a modern one, but it feels kind of 1950s.
Okay.
Christmas Baby Please Come Home. This Town by Niall Horan from One Direction. Let It Snow. Winter Wonderland by Perry Como.
Ooh,
that was a good one. Let's try another one.
Let's try another one. Yeah.
Okay. Here we're gonna do that. And then all you gotta do is press create, and then it saves it.
Oh, that's fun.
Pretty awesome.
That's cool. So and then does it label the playlist, whatever you
Solitary Christmas Echoes is what it called that one. Okay, let's do another one. Let's say, give me something. What do you want?
Okay. How about a strolling down the lane during Victorian times in a top hat with a cane at Christmas time.
Okay. Strolling down the lane in Victorian times with a top hat and cane.
AA is going to be like, why are you telling me what you're wearing? That has nothing to do with music.
Let's see. Here we go. Beep, boop, 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 boop. Reviewing your request.
Okay.
Here's a playlist.
Ooh.
Quick. Got Rusty Merry Gentleman by Lorena McKennitt.
Okay.
Great singer. In the Bleak Midwinter, Bert Jansch. The Coventry Carol by Medieval Babes. The Holly and the Ivy, traditional by the Cambridge Singers.
Okay.
Greensleeves, O Holy Night, Goodkin Wenceslas.
These are
This
great.
Is great. This is awesome.
That's a cool tool. Will you send me that, the Victorian one?
Yeah, I'll send it to you right now.
All right. That's a fun tool. Definitely recommend people check that out, because sometimes that could be a huge task, right? To like try to find all these songs that sort of fit a vibe, but how cool that tool now
Do
exists.
it for you.
Now, we do have a game coming up here in a second.
Yes.
But before we get to the game, I just got to vent about something
Okay.
real quick. So this has never happened to me ever at Christmas time. Growing up, since we moved into our house, you know, I'm a display guy.
Yeah.
When I was leaving my house this morning, I'm turning right on my street. You know, I live on the end of a street, so like my house sort of wraps around.
Mm-hmm.
And I realize some of my decorations are gone.
Stolen?
I've been burglarized.
No way.
Somebody has swiped some of my Christmas decorations.
What are we talking? What's gone?
Well, fortunately, it's not super expensive.
Okay.
You know, I shared this in an earlier episode that I was so excited that I found these candy canes.
Yeah.
Right? These like 3.5-foot candy canes that I put like from my walkway all, you know, the way my house is sort of shaped, it sort of rounds around the corner. And I did them all the way around the perimeter of my front yard.
Sure.
Somebody took like the last 6. And I was sitting there at the corner and I'm looking
Are
over
they individual or are they connected?
They're individual.
Okay.
So what's interesting about it, first of all, I'll be completely honest. I got a little angry. And I was like, what kind of classless piece of garbage with like, you know, steel decorations? Because I felt very violated.
Sure, yeah.
In that, now granted, they're not the most expensive things. They're actually probably the
It's
cheapest
still your
things I
stuff.
bought. I was like, it's still on my front yard.
Yeah.
Like, but this is the thing. I think whoever stole them knows that I have cameras out in front of my house. That is the one dead zone that my cameras don't see because they like took them up to a point
Right.
and didn't take the rest.
They did some recon on your
They
house.
did some recon. So I was texting some of my buddies, and my buddy's like, "You need more cameras, man." And I was like, "I got 5. Like that feels pretty sufficient. That feels good." But I was
Out of
like,
Fort Knox.
But the thing is, like, the camera that sees that part of my front yard is my doorbell cam.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you deal with this, but like I set like a zone
Yeah.
that like triggers because like where I live, I'm right on the corner. So like if cars come driving by, if I put the zone out too far,
Sure.
it alerts me every single time that the battery dies quickly on my thing. And so I basically set the zone at the edge of my yard. And so somebody swiped.
Who knows about your zone parameters?
I don't know. But clearly it's somebody who's like, okay, it probably is up.
Maybe Lynn took them because she knows where the parameters are and she put them in a different spot of the house for something.
She's going to give them to me for Christmas.
Yeah.
So she'll be like, babe, you know.
Now you can
I know
finish your
you're so
display.
bummed out that you lost your candy canes. I got you 6 more. But I'm like, has that ever happened to you? Have you ever had someone swipe your decorations from your
I don't
house?
think so. Not that I remember. But yeah, that's a bummer.
I know. I felt so violated.
Yeah.
And the frustrating thing is they probably don't have any more left because you and I walked into a
Sure,
Dollar
yeah.
Tree the other day and all the Christmas stuff was gone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, this sucks. Like, do I have to spread them further apart
think
now?
so.
Because I can't leave an empty block in front of my yard. Anyway, I just needed to share it because I was frustrated. And if you're listening to the show, just bring my candy canes back.
Just
no
leave 'em.
questions asked.
Yeah.
Leave them in that dead zone that you already know exists. And I won't press charges. Anyway, can you imagine that going to court? All right, next case on the
Stole my
docket.
Dollar Tree
Is this-
candy
am I
cane.
reading this correctly? $9 worth of plastic candy canes? It's more about the principle, Your Honor. Anyway, if you've had your Christmas decorations stolen, let us know. And
Call us
we
at
can
Dracy and
commiserate.
Dracy.
yeah, call McAllister Home Security. Anyway, a game. Let's do a
Let's do a game.
Let's do a game. We have a game. We played this game earlier in the season. I have a lot more questions we need to go through. This is Christmas Clash.
Yes.
Yes.
This was so fun.
I like this one.
Yep.
So the way this works, if you don't know how Family Feud works or haven't listened to the last episode where we played this game, I surveyed 100 members of the Christmas Countdown crew and asked them some Christmassy questions. I'll start by asking you both a question, and whoever answers with the most popular answer will have the chance to play the round or pass to the other person. The object is to correctly guess the top answers given by the listeners. If you get 3 wrong answers, the other person will have a chance to steal the round. And if you win this game, you will get 6 slightly used 3.5-foot candy canes.
Oh,
He's like, I'm tired.
that's hysterical. I'm like, Chris, why do you look so tired today? And what's that ski mask in the background?
I juggled 6 candy canes.
Wouldn't it be
home.
amazing if Chris traveled all the way across the country to my house and didn't say hi? It didn't come to our studio. He just did it for content, so I'd bring it up on the show. That's brilliant.
So here we go. The question that we're going to go through first. Let's start with. This is an interesting one. Let's do this one.
Okay.
Yeah, we're looking for name the traditional Christmas food that's messy to eat.
that's messy to eat. I'm gonna go with green bean casserole.
Green bean casserole. And Eric, we want to try to do a little bit better than that one.
I will say cranberry sauce.
Green bean casserole is not on the list at all, but cranberry sauce is number 4.
Ooh. And how many
So
are there
that's right.
total?
We're looking for the top 5.
Okay. Are you gonna pass or play?
I'm gonna pass.
You're going to pass. This one is tough.
I shouldn't
This
have
one
brought
is
that up.
tough.
I
Now
should've
that
just
you
let you
passed
keep
it,
going.
It's tough.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass.
If cranberry is number 4,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to say. Could I just say gravy? Or does that
You can say gravy, sure.
Okay.
It's much like Family Feud, where if you get pretty close, I can give you the point.
Okay, gravy.
Gravy is the number 1 answer.
The gravy is messy? People feel gravy is a messy food?
Well, think about
guess
gravy.
so.
Like if you put on turkey, it's not really like a vessel that holds the gravy well. So like if you got a lot of gravy and you start going towards your mouth, you might get a little drippage. I do too.
Yeah, it spreads out on the plate too, I imagine.
All right,
So-
fair,
okay.
fair,
Into
okay.
that.
All right, so we got gravy, cranberry, green beans not on there. Something else that's messy. I'm gonna go with like yams or like sweet potatoes.
Sweet potatoes is not on there.
Dang it.
That's your first X.
Is this? Can it be dessert items as well?
It sure can.
Okay. I'm gonna go with pumpkin pie.
Pumpkin pie is also wrong.
Okay. Is this giving you any like?
Eric,
clues
go ahead
as to where you
and
wanna
see if
go?
you have one teed up.
I know, I'm
gonna come
thinking
to
right
you.
I've only got 2 out of 5. I feel like I'm just like failing.
This is a
right
tough
now.
one for sure.
This is because so many don't feel messy to me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Okay, so if there are desserts on the list, what's a messy dessert that you would have? You know, people are screaming in their car right now. Like somebody knows
Right.
what I should be going with here. Drinks, are drinks fair game or just food?
I will give you a hint and say that drinks are fair game, but they are not in the top 5.
Okay, copy. All right. I'm going to go with, now some of our fans are from overseas.
You're stalling.
I am, you're
Yeah.
right.
You're
I
not
am.
allowed to do this. Call the clock on him.
Okay, I am going to go with that old classic that everybody loves with all their heart. How about apple pie?
Apple pie is incorrect.
This is hard.
So 1 to steal, Eric.
I'm gonna go candy canes / peppermint bark. It gets so sticky, and I don't know if that's the same thing. I don't know. Peppermint candy cane is my answer.
Chris is nodding.
At number 2, candy canes
Candy
is correct.
canes? Wow. I guess they do
They're so
start to
sticky.
drip. That's a good one.
And if you don't, they're messy.
Nicely done.
Yeah, like
that
the
didn't
wrapper,
even
and you get like the
enter my
sticky all
mind.
over your face and stuff while you're eating.
Yeah.
I got to know the other. Should we try to guess the other 2 or just have Chris reveal them?
Just reveal.
Number 3, gingerbread. And number 5 is lasagna.
Oh,
Lasagna.
lasagna is messy. And
Oh,
we do
you
have
talk.
it
You talk about lasagna having on Christmas.
How many
but-
people said lasagna? Like
3 people said lasagna.
3 people said lasagna.
Well, there you
I
go.
wonder if my wife was one. Was my wife one of them? Do you know?
I did it all anonymously, so she could have been.
Okay.
All
Did
right,
my
that was
wife
good.
enter 3 times?
All right.
All right. Next one. Here we go.
Let's try for what's the most disappointing thing to wake up to on Christmas morning?
Boop.
Eric, what do you think?
No presents.
No presents is not one of the answers for some reason. Can you imagine that?
What is this game?
How many are on the list?
We're looking for the top 5.
That's
5 things and no presents on Christmas
Actually,
morning.
well, I mean, let's move on, but there's one that could be, but I don't think I would really consider it.
it's no gifts, actually, is what we're looking for.
Yeah. A lack of gifts is what we're looking for. Number 1 answer.
Gosh, man, I don't know where you go from there.
I didn't have many answers beyond that.
I know.
Yeah.
Geez Louise. The power's out?
Yeah.
No power at number 5 is the right answer.
All right.
Okay.
You gonna play?
I think I'm going to pass this over to you, bro.
I will say no snow.
Number 1, no snow is correct.
Okay.
Good guess.
I will say this would be very sad, but like your spouse or your boyfriend or girlfriend is not there on
Flew the
Christmas
coop?
morning.
I'll give you that. Number 2, being alone.
Ooh,
yeah,
okay.
okay.
All right. You're on a roll. You're on a roll. Only 2 more.
3 and 4.
Because we have It was no snow. You're alone. What was 5?
5 is no power.
No power. Okay. I'll say Santa did not come.
Unfortunately, that is incorrect.
Whoa. It feels like you're almost.
Yeah, I feel like I'm judging by, or like
Oh, I got it.
The
I got
cookies
it.
did not get nibbled.
I got it. I know what it is.
The cookies did not. We'll save it for
Okay.
your thing. You tell me. Is that an answer? I'll submit it. But if you feel like I've already said that by Santa did not come to the house, if it's the same thing.
That is incorrect. No,
Okay.
Santa. And for the last 2, Santa did come to the house.
Okay. Okay.
So is that 2 X's or 1 X?
I think he's on 2 X's now.
Okay.
Not the gift you were hoping for from Santa.
I need to be a little bit more specific.
More specific than that.
Oh. Can I help you? You want to phone a friend?
Yeah, you can help if you want.
Not the gift you had on your list.
Not the gift you had on your list?
Also incorrect. That's not more specific. That's just another way of saying.
Santa brought things for other people, but not you?
I gotta say no.
Oh my gosh.
Okay,
What
I don't
is
know.
it?
I don't know.
And this is like 3 or 4, so multiple
Yeah.
people said this.
Yes.
So you are so close. I'm going to
11
guess.
people said the third one.
How many
and
people?
7 people said the fourth one.
Okay. I got to go lump of coal. in your
Lump of coal
stocking.
number 3 is correct.
That's good. Lump of coal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was floating around it.
So is that the one that we were almost there for, or no?
Well, number 4 is underwear. So
Socks.
neither of
Like-
those. Yeah.
Okay.
Socks? Yeah, I get it.
That's really
Okay.
funny.
All right.
Okay.
1-1.
1-1. Do we have one more?
We have one more. Sure. Let's
Oh,
see.
this is
What can we
fun.
do?
How many people said underwear?
7.
4 people said
Oh,
underwear.
Wow. Okay.
No, sorry. 7 people said underwear.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. Here we go. Last round.
All right. So we're looking for the top 4 answers for this one. Name a famous Christmas movie character who's also known for being a bit of a grump.
Boo.
Eric.
Scrooge.
Scrooge is correct. Pass or play?
Wait, do I get a chance to
Oh, that's
get
good
a
point.
higher?
Well, yeah. Then let's
Well,
see what you can do.
you can tell me what number it was. Was it 1?
That was number 2.
Okay,
Ooh,
so if you
sorry.
can say the number 1, then you get to play it.
The Grinch.
Yeah. Grinch is also right. Yeah. Pass or play, Danny?
And there's 5 total.
4 total.
So you only have to come up with 2.
Okay. Known for being
Pass or
grumpy.
play. Got to make an answer. Good Lord, you love to bend these rules.
I do. I'm
Yeah.
like a kid that you ask, what's like 7 times 3?
You're
What
stalling
did you
right
say,
now.
7? I will pass.
Do you want to tell us where any of our listeners come from before you?
I'm
before
going to
you answer
pass.
it?
I'm going to pass.
All right, he passes to me. All right.
Okay.
So you got Scrooge. You got. Okay, I'm gonna say Potter from It's a Wonderful Life, Mr. Potter.
Not on the list, unfortunately. That's 1X.
And what was? Can you? And I'm not stalling for time. They
fine.
were listed as being grumpy. Is how you listed it.
Being a bit of a grump.
Bit of
so
a
they
grump.
have some redeeming qualities.
Sure.
But they're also a bit of a grump.
Okay.
Mm.
I'm gonna say Harry and Marv from Home Alone.
That's gonna be 2 strikes.
What are other classic movies? So we did the Home Alone. We did.
Sure is a nice hat you have there, Eric.
Oh my gosh.
The Old Man.
What?
The old man's correct.
Man. In
I get
Christmas
critiqued
Story.
for delaying and you're just giving him the answer?
Well, I guarantee you he's
This
not
is
gonna
like
get the
playing
fourth
with
one.
my children.
He says it. He says that it's not. I'm not going to get this last one. Okay. Can you give me a hint in any way towards this last one? Old
Yes.
movie, new movie, just
are
like
these
that.
Famous.
rules?
It's a famous Christmas movie character who's also known as a bit of a grump. There you go.
Great, great.
He's like, actually, I'm texting you the answer right now.
Yes.
Just check your phone.
Oh goodness gracious! I will say. Okay, I'm gonna say the what's the guy in Rudolph with the abominable snowman?
Abominable Snowman is incorrect.
Oh, I thought that might be it, actually. All right. I got a chance to steal. You said
Yep.
that this was no chance anyone was going to get this. Is that what you said?
3 people said it, so
Okay.
3 people think it's true. This is a stretch. It's a stretch for sure.
That this person is grumpy and then Oh my gosh, that's hard. Then my answer is going to be incorrect because it's not a stretch. I was going to go with the dad from Elf.
Walter Hobbs.
Walter Hobbs, yeah.
That is incorrect.
Yeah.
So what was it?
Coming in at number 4 with 3 people said this, Clark Griswold.
Clark Griswold?
He's
Yeah.
a little grumpy.
Yeah. I
All
know.
right, I'll buy it.
Oh, okay.
That was that.
What was your Amelia? Were you going to guess that?
No, the two answers I was gonna guess was either the old man with the shovel in Home Alone,
Yeah, that's good.
or Krampus.
Oh,
This is good
those
too.
are both great.
I think you may have to. Do you have another one that you could give us to have a tiebreaker?
Another question? Sure.
Yeah.
Why not?
Let's do it. Let's be an easy one. How about this?
All right.
Aside from Rudolph, name a reindeer.
Oh, bing, boop, ding. What do you have to do?
Okay.
I mean, like
Whatever you
7
need to do.
different sounds there. And how many do I have to name?
Well, you have to say one answer.
We'd say the
Oh,
highest.
right.
and I may say one higher.
Run the board.
Yeah, don't do that.
Dasher.
Dasher, and then Eric. What do you think?
I
Can you
will
do
say
better?
Prancer.
Prancer's number 5. Dasher with 30 people. Number 1 answer.
Baloney. You want to know why?
All right.
Justice for
You
Prancer.
want to know why? Because it's the first name.
Yeah,
No
but that's lame.
Dasher.
Prancer's got a
Now
whole
watch
movie.
what I'm about to do. Dancer.
Okay. At number 4, Dancer.
And you said Prancer. Vixen.
Vixen, number 5.
Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen. Donner.
Incorrect.
Oh, I thought I was going to run it with the first 5. Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Donner. Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen.
He's stumped. Call time on him.
No.
Call time on him.
He gave you the answer for the last one, okay? Cupid.
Cupid is incorrect as well. I guess it's not incorrect, but only 2 people
Not on
said
the
that.
list.
Oh, okay. Comet.
Yeah, there's only 2 left, and you're looking for 2, so you're bound to get it. That one's correct. Who's the last reindeer then?
Cupid.
You already said Cupid. You already said Cupid.
Cupid is incorrect. You already said Cupid.
Dasher,
Eric,
Dancer,
what do you want to
Comet,
steal?
Cupid.
Donner.
No, I already said Donner, I thought.
No.
Donner's also incorrect.
Yeah, I already said Donner. That was the one I'd said before. I said Donner. It was my last one. So it's Blitzen?
Blitzen is correct. Number 3 with 10 people.
Woo.
You didn't say Donner.
But the 2 I got wrong were Donner and...
You said Cupid twice.
No, I only said Cupid once. I thought.
Prancer was on there that you didn't quite make the list.
All right, we need another one.
We're still tied?
Okay.
We're still tied.
Okay, let's keep it going. Why
This
not?
is good.
What's the best Christmas cookie of all time?
That was a tie.
Yeah.
I'll let you have it because I had the last one.
I'll say sugar.
Sugar cookie.
That's got to be
Danny, you
number one.
want to do any better? You want to give it a shot?
Is that not number one?
It is number 1, so it doesn't make a difference.
Okay. So then
Pass
I'll
or
say I'm gonna play.
Okay.
Gingerbread.
Gingerbread number 2.
Nice.
I'm gonna say chocolate chip.
Chocolate chip number 3.
And how many am I going for?
We're looking for 5, so there's 2 more.
Okay. I'm gonna say snickerdoodle.
Snickerdoodle number 5. You got it.
So we're looking for number 4.
Number 4.
Gingerbread, sugar cookie. Oh goodness gracious. Yeah, that's fair.
I don't want to time you out, but
I know. You can give me an X here. Give me my first X.
I'll give you one of those.
What other kinds of cookies are there? Sugar cookie. Peppermint cookie?
Peppermint is incorrect.
Do you know what
It's
it
2.
is?
Danny, go ahead and get one ready.
I have a guess.
I'll say my last guess will be no, I got nothing.
Nothing.
Dang, I was really
That's it,
hoping you'd
3
guess
strikes.
one and knock one of the 2 out I have in my head because I'm down to 2.
All right.
One I would never have because I just
Not much
don't.
of a sweets guy.
No, I'm not a huge sweet guy. You know, I do need to admit something real quick. I'm so glad you brought this up, and this is not me delaying. I just have to talk about it right now. So we were up in Big Bear, and you and I bought you bought a pack of like Buddy the Elf sugar cookies, right? And what did I buy?
Like a roll
a
of-
log of sugar cookie dough that we did not use.
Yes.
Last night in my kitchen, I pulled that out in a spoon,
Yeah.
and I ate like 6 spoonfuls of sugar cookie
It's
dough.
wonderful.
And I was walking around my kitchen. I was like, am I a sweets guy? Am I like really a sweets guy? And I'm like, but I've been like convincing myself I'm not a sweets guy for all these years.
You are.
Maybe I'm at the heart of it. I'm a sweets guy. I'm going to go lemon.
I wanted you to get it. That's incorrect.
If it's shortbread, I'm going to kick myself. Is it shortbread?
Well, better start stretching because it's shortbread.
Oh my gosh.
We need another question. Do you have
I
another
honestly went lemon
I have
because
more questions. Sure.
I don't like citrus in cookies at all, but I was like, I know a lot of people do. And I always feel like when I say I like shortbread cookies, that
I love
people
shortbread cookies.
are like, what is he talking
question?
about?
No, those are good.
Dang
All right.
it.
Somebody's gonna win this one.
Oh my gosh. Longest
go.
game we've ever
Okay.
played.
This is good though.
All right.
I love the
We're
game.
gonna,
This
we're
is
gonna
great social
do
content.
Yeah.
name something you absolutely love about Christmas morning. Okay.
I was like not confident about my ring. I'm going to go with a fire in the fireplace.
Fire in the fireplace is incorrect.
I'll say spending time with family.
Family number 2.
Number
Okay.
2.
Correct.
Family number 2.
Number 1.
Okay, I'll play.
Okay. And we're looking for 5. Is that right?
Top 5 answers for this one.
Top
Yeah.
5. Okay. I'll say gifts, presents.
Number 1, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay. So we got gifts. We got family. I'm gonna say stockings, but I don't know if that qualifies under gifts. But I'm gonna say it's stockings.
It qualifies under gifts. We'll
Okay.
just, yeah.
All right. Then I'll say we do cinnamon rolls, and I know a lot of people do that. So I'm gonna say like breakfasty food. Do you need a specific food?
No, I can give it to you. 4 number is food. 4
Okay,
is food.
food.
Okay.
So I'm looking for 3 and 5. Is that correct?
3 and 5.
3 and
Yes.
5. Okay. And it's things you're excited about on Christmas
That
morning.
you absolutely love about
Absolutely
Christmas
love
morning.
about Christmas morning. Being in your pajamas.
Ooh.
Not up there.
Looked like he was considering.
Yeah. Was that close?
No, because I keep saying incorrect, and it's not incorrect.
Is that-
It's
yeah,
just not
okay.
on the
It's
list.
just not on the board. Not on the board. Okay. Things you absolutely love about Christmas morning. Man, I got the gifts. I got my family. I'm going to say coffee. Some people probably say coffee.
Ooh, that's a good
Coffee's not on there.
one. Oh.
Not for me, but it's rightfully not on there. Okay, so we got gifts. We got family. We got, what was the other one I said? Food.
Food.
Yep.
Yeah.
The other 2 things that people just love about Christmas morning. The snow.
Snow is also incorrect.
Ooh. I thought that was going to be it.
That was 3 for me.
That
Okay.
was 3. Are we going to end with a tie?
What do I love about Christmas morning? You named a lot of great ones. I'm going to go with the
Think
tree.
early morning.
Yeah, that's what
the tree lit up. Yeah, your Christmas tree.
Tree is incorrect.
What was it?
We're looking for number 3, the calm before everyone wakes up.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And number 5, sleeping in / no work.
Oh, that's great.
Okay.
You know what we're missing from this game is when he reveals those and everyone goes,
Good answer.
Sleeping in.
Yeah,
they all
yeah.
read it like as
Yeah,
it flips over.
Yeah. That was good,
That
though.
was
We'll
great.
end with a tie on this one.
Okay.
That was fun.
Because I'm not
Well done.
competitive.
Well done.
I love
Well
ties.
done.
That was super fun. I love that game so much. Yeah.
Should we get to our countdown?
I think it's about that time.
Let's do it. Love it. Okay, here we go, folks. These are our top 5 Christmas aesthetics. My number 5 is going to be a Dickens Christmas vibe.
Ooh.
And I'm talking about long pajama dresses for like the men that we all wear, like long, floor length pajama dresses and
With
our
like a-
knit cap and
yes.
stuff, and we hold candles in our little candle holder. So that's like the going to bed, but you also have lots of wreaths everywhere, seemingly in Dickensian times.
Yeah.
just wreaths everywhere.
And mistletoe.
Lots of mistletoe, lots of layers. I like the vibe of sort of the top hat and the coat with the vest with also a little like cravat or something like that. I like the idea of Fezziwig's kind of party. That there's lots of food that it doesn't sound that good to me, but I like the look of all of like big food piles, you know?
Like a big barrel of mead.
Yeah. So I'm talking Dickensian Christmas.
Ooh.
That's my number 5 aesthetic.
And is the music a part of that for you as well?
Yeah, a little bit, but less so. Other ones have music more important to them.
Yeah.
I think I like a good sort of fiddle playing, you know?
Is Dickensian also the same era as Baroque music, or Baroque was before?
I think Baroque's a little bit older, but you could also probably say Victorian times would be similar to Dickensian times.
Do you remember when we made that joke season 1 about like a boy band during the
Victorian time?
Yeah, and you called them the Bach Street Boys.
The Bach Street Boys. I forgot about that. That's a good
that
joke.
was such a great moment. I love that. That clip is on our YouTube page and it's on our Instagram as well. So if people want to go, and Emilio cut it, and he cuts in like, all right, like after you say Bach Street Boys, it's
good.
perfection.
Good job.
That's a good one. I like that you went era, because that was like part of my debate when forming the list was like,
Sure.
do I just go with like a look, you know, or do I go for a specific time period
Sure.
as well? And I did a little bit of both. So number 5 for me, it's got to be an NYC Christmas.
Sure.
It's going to see Broadway shows. It's the buzz that's sort of in the city at that time of year. It's the scarves. It's the I love the idea of like the pea coat, like over your nice outfit, you know, like you wear, like you're going to see like the Radio City Christmas Spectacular or a Broadway show or whatever, a nice dinner. You've got that nice classy outfit underneath, but you're like bundled up with the scarf and the gloves and all the things. I love the way the city comes alive at the holiday season with all of the decorations, the smells that are in the air. I'm not a huge fan of like buying the nuts from the nut cart. They're good. Like I like them, but like I'm more just about like how they add to the experience. And honestly, I feel like I would have loved to maybe experience like NYC at Christmas, like maybe back in like the 90s, early 2000s when like, you know, you had TRL like happening in Times Square and all these sorts of things. But yeah, to me, like being in NYC at the holiday season and just all the various things are sort of happening in and around there, the decorations, the people, the energy. It's just that buzz of the city is like, it's a vibe for sure.
Love that.
Yeah.
That's a good one. You may hear it later on the list, perhaps.
Okay.
I love that. All right, my number 4 is going to be a Florida Christmas.
Ooh.
I have really come to love a good Florida Christmas. Obviously, it's not how I grew up, but my parents lived in Florida for a long time, and my wife's family lives in Florida, so we go down there at Christmas a lot of times. And I love wearing shorts on Christmas morning. I like that the palm trees all have lights strung all the way up, and there's a great look of palm trees with Christmas lights. I love going to Disney World at Christmas. I love all of the like Santa in like a Hawaiian shirt and swim trunks kind of vibe look. There's specifically a place that if you've ever been to, you will, and you hear me say this, you're going to go, yes, I love that place. There's an island off of Fort Myers called Captiva Island. It's right, if you've heard of Sanibel, which is a little bit more famous. Sanibel's a big island, and then Captiva is an island just off of that. And Captiva Island has this little restaurant called the Bubble Room, and the Bubble Room is this like insanely kitschy restaurant. Great food, big steaks and garlic butter, and they have this stuff called bubble bread that's like bread with cream cheese and cheese melted on it. It's amazing. But they have and the whole restaurant is like so much kitsch that you can't even see the walls. There's like a Christmas tree that goes between all the rooms, or a Christmas train that goes between all the rooms. One of their rooms is a Christmas room, and it's just like so tacky in the best way. You know, they got like all those bubble lights, you know, the lights that are like have a little kind of half circle at the bottom, and then the light goes up and there's like bubbles running up it. That's a very sort of Key West, Florida looking vibe. So yeah, that it's going to be essentially a Florida Christmas, a tropical Christmas, a Key West Christmas. I've come to really love that vibe.
Yeah, I just learned that about you recently because we were doing like a this or that thing, and it was like snow or sand.
Yeah.
I thought 100% you were going to choose snow.
Yeah.
And you chose
I do love the beach.
sand. I've never been at the beach at the
Christmas?
holidays. Yeah.
Great.
But you shot that great video a few years ago, like the Jingle Bells, right? Was it for like a Broadway thing you did that? Or-
Yeah, some Broadway benefit.
People got to check that out. Look,
Yeah.
is it on YouTube? People-
It is on YouTube. It's on my TikTok as well. I did the Barbra Streisand version of Jingle Bells,
Yes.
and we recorded it where my parents lived at the time in Fort Myers.
Oh, that's so cool. Love it. Okay, so number 4 for me, and I feel like it should get moved up on my list, but I want to talk about it now. So it's gonna be the 1990s Christmas. That's our childhood.
Yeah.
You know, and when I think of a 1990s Christmas, we've chatted about this with like movies, like Christmas movies from the 90s, is like there's just this golden hue that existed at that time on TV, on film. You know, I think about like when I think of 1990s Christmas, I think of like the Toys R Us catalog
Sure.
arriving and like how thrilling that was, how much fun it was to walk through places like Toys R Us and the department stores and everything and just see all these things that you were so excited about, you know, putting on your list for the holiday season. For me, I also think of like family is, you know, so huge for us, right? And my childhood was just packed with family together at the holiday season. It's the thought of like gathering around the new Nintendo or new Sega that somebody got for Christmas in the living room and everybody wanting to have a go, you know, at playing Mario or Sonic or whatever it was. It's the late game nights. It's movies like Home Alone coming out in the theaters for the first time and getting to go see them again, going and seeing Muppet Christmas Carol and just all these iconic films that are so much a part of like what Christmas is for us now. I think to be able to go back and have that like 1990s Christmas aesthetic, doing, you know, family photos with your sweaters at Sears or JCPenney. Everything just felt like an event at that time. And I think it's like, it's pre-internet, it's pre-social media. It's like the last decade, I think, where we weren't so connected like to the
living
world.
for other people.
We were more
just
connected
living-
to each other.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why I yearn for it so much. So it's going to be that 1990s vibe.
What a great selection, Danny.
I always try to read you when I'm saying things to see like if your eyes get a little bigger because I'm like, don't say too much because Eric's got some things.
My number 3 is a 90s suburban Chicago Christmas. And yes,
minds.
I agree. Everything that Danny said, a couple more sort of things to picture in this aesthetic if you close your eyes and imagine this. If you're driving, don't close your eyes. Yes, Home Alone, and I said specifically Chicago or a Midwest Christmas because I like the idea of the snow on the ground and all that. There is some Instagram account that I've been following recently that has been posting like New York in the 1950s. And I think they're AI generated images, but they're so good at describing these specific aesthetics.
Yeah.
And one of them is like 90s in the Midwest or 80s in Florida or, you know, and I'll find it. We'll post it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so a 90s suburban Chicago Christmas. You got Home Alone and just the whole vibe because Home Alone was shot, you know, in the suburbs of Chicago near where I grew up. So it's a very similar look. Going to the church kids Christmas concert, you know, that whole vibe and being in the sweaters that match. And a big thing also going to the mall.
Yeah.
I love the mall. And the malls in the 90s, especially at Christmas time, that's one of my other favorite things to do is go on YouTube and search up malls in the 90s. And there's lots of people that had like a camcorder and were like, I'm just going to videotape walking through the mall.
Yeah.
And nothing's really happening. You're just sort of seeing it. But when you see it and you remember like, man, malls used to be packed. You would go to the mall around like any time between October and December on a Saturday. It was like being at Disneyland. I mean, you couldn't walk around. It was so crowded. So going to the mall, that kind of tacky lights, the big, you know, C9 lights of that kind of look, chunky sweaters, watching the sort of 80s Christmas specials on TV, the Rudolph, you know, Frosty, that kind of stuff, the toys of our youth, the feeling that you're like at a cousin's house and you're like, it's home, but it's also not your house. So you get toys that you didn't normally play with.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Being with your cousins and aunts and uncles. And for us, it was, you know, watching Bears games and then everybody goes out and has like a snowball fight. And just like you said, just having family everywhere.
Yeah.
And that real sense of just a coziness, familiar, I think we didn't realize it at the time, but especially looking back at it with a nostalgic view, it was so safe. It just felt safe. Like there was no sense of outside, like the world being a dangerous place.
Yeah.
I also feel like I don't remember, we live in a very, segmented world now where everybody has their different views politically about whatever. And now I feel like some people go into holiday gatherings, especially with family, with like a tension of like, oh God, I hope I don't say the wrong thing or they don't say the wrong thing or whatever. And like, I just don't ever remember that being an issue at all back when I was a kid and in the 90s. And you'd be at a family gathering and they're just like, people didn't talk about that stuff. It was like that old idea of like, there's certain things you don't talk about at the dinner table, And so I think that there was a certain just like safeness that just felt that I'm nostalgic for. So that's going to be my number 3 is a 90s suburban Chicago Christmas.
I love that. I keep meaning to ask my folks, I don't know if you've ever thought of doing the same, is what do they remember about Christmas?
When we were kids?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, do they remember exactly what we're describing and like that there wasn't tension at family gatherings, or like has it always just
Or
sort
did
of
we
been
just not realize
we were
it? Yeah.
oblivious because we were running from this room to the next with our cousins? And will my kids have that same memory? Our kids, will they yearn for the 2020s Christmas, and the vibe that we had when things were more simple? I don't know. And but listen to the podcast and you'll learn that wasn't the case, kids. Anyway, that's a great one. Number 3 for me is going to be a Christmas like aesthetic that I've never had, but I yearn for. And that is being able to go over to Europe, Germany, Austria, sort of like that Eastern European vibe during the holiday season, specifically to go to the Christmas markets.
Oh, yeah.
One, you've got the cold weather. So like we were just talking about this in Big Bear, right? That like we were up and there was snow, but it was warm. So like it kind of didn't give you that full feeling, right? Where like when you are in places like, the Northeast or whatever it might be, at the holidays, like it's just cold. The Midwest is cold. Parts of Europe are cold. So I think about the cold aspect, but I just think of all of the smells that must be in the air when you're walking through these Christmas markets, because you have the vendors, who are making fresh, melted hot chocolate drinks or whatever sweets they're making or savory dishes. It's the music that's playing in the air. It's the hearing different languages and meeting people who, have a different culture and different traditions and learning about their traditions and just feeling the energy of what Christmas is like for other people around the world and learning why they enjoy it so much. And I just like when I see these, pictures or videos of these Christmas markets, they just look like these thriving holiday metropolis type places. So that's definitely on my list and something that I hope I get to experience at some point in my life is just hitting up a series of Christmas markets throughout December.
It reminds me a little bit of, Chris, where do you go to Montreal? Is that where you go? Or you've been?
Every year we go in February to Quebec City.
Quebec City.
Yeah.
But that has that similar kind of vibe where they're like, people are ice skating down the river.
Yes.
And that kind of stuff.
I want
love
it
that
in my life.
I love that. All right. My number 2 has been spoken about, but I'll give my take on it. And that's going to be a New York City Christmas.
Yeah.
I did say specifically in the late 90s, in that sort of, and Emilio was just telling me he just watched this movie, Miracle on 34th Street, the 1994 version. It's the camel-colored top coat with leather gloves and a red scarf. And I know that's hyper-specific, but once I say it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's kind of that, like, the look that like every Hallmark movie is kind of chasing, where it's very just like clean, and New York City is not like that. Like that's not real New York City, but we're just talking about an aesthetic.
Right.
And I'm talking about that really like Rockefeller Center and, the ice rink and the Saks, light show. And, I talked about how there's snow in Central Park, the Macy's Day Parade, lights in Little Italy. Lisa and I obviously had our kids in New York for a couple Christmases, and so that was not in the 90s, but I feel like we were always feeling that kind of feel of just like there is nowhere that I've been that is more magical than New York City between Thanksgiving Day and Christmas Day. Now, once you get the day past Christmas Day, Chris can attest, it becomes a dark, gray, slushy, hard place to live. But you're willing to deal with it because from especially Thanksgiving to Christmas Day, there is nowhere more magical than New York City. That feeling of sort of like Friendsgiving that we would have, before we had kids. And also this is just a 2.B is I've never been to London at Christmas, but I have a feeling that it has a similar vibe to New York at Christmas.
Yeah.
So it's going to be specifically New York City, late 90s, Miracle on 34th Street vibe.
It's the best. Do you think like people dressed like that in the 90s, or was it just okay, they did?
I do.
Okay. Because nobody in my like sphere did, but I also grew up in Southern California.
Sure,
so there was, if you were walking around with a pea coat.
Yeah, no, people definitely dress like that.
Okay. You know what else I love? I thought of this while you were describing is like the way all the restaurants get into the holidays in New York City. Not just inside.
Oh, yeah.
But the amazing huge, ornaments and garland that they'll have like around the front door and up around the windows. It's just everywhere you look.
Everywhere you go.
It just feels like it takes over the city. All right, number 2 for me is going to be a cabin in the woods.
You're just one ahead of me. He's one ahead of me.
Then I won't say too much.
Yes.
It has been my dream for the longest time to wake up on Christmas morning in a cabin in the woods, in the mountains. I love the mountains. We were chatting about this in Big Bears. Like the mountains just, for me, like I feel at peace when I'm in the mountains. Like I feel like my shoulders fall a little bit. I feel like I'm able to breathe deeper when I'm in the mountains. And just this idea of the juxtaposition between like the white of the snow with like the trees and, a lot of times, especially here in Southern California, a lot of the trees will still be green, and just seeing like the difference of those two color palettes against each other. I love something about being in a cabin just feels like you're like one with nature and you're away from it all and all the hustle and the bustle. Obviously, like the peace of the season is what you and I love so much. And when I think of the mountains, when I think of cabins in the woods, I think of peace. And calm and quiet and really just being able to be present with those that you love most and just really sinking into what the season means to us. So I'll stop there because I'm sure you've got other things that you want to share, but that's going to be my number 2.
I love it. Yes, my number 1 is going to be a cozy cabin vibe. Lots of buffalo print blankets.
Yeah.
That red and black kind of checkered look. A large fireplace. Yeah. Like one that you can, those like old school fireplaces that you can actually like sit in. Like it's like that big, you know? Excuse me. Lots of warm yellow, white lights, garland everywhere, thick wool socks, watching a snow fall through a window with quiet Christmas music playing, and just so many pillows. Just so many pillows and blankets. And the best word for it is the hygge, right? It's that coziness feel of being with your family, and everyone is in pajamas, but also like a coat over, not a coat, but like an indoor coat, like a big chunky sweater over their pajamas, wool socks. Everybody's got a drink. You're sort of like, it's that quiet, hearing the wind outside of the cabin. That whole vibe to me is like, that's the best kind of Christmassy aesthetic.
I agree. And we got a little taste of it.
We did
this last weekend, which was nice. And like, if you looked out of like the way our cabin was situated, there was just this huge wall of windows on the backside, and the golf course was right there. But just beyond that was Bear Mountain Resort. And they had, they haven't had a big snow there yet, but there was like a couple runs that were open, and like you could just see the snow. And I feel like we got a little bit of that glimpse. And I love like waking up in the morning, that chill that's in the air.
It's great.
It's just the best. All right, we've made it to my number 1. But before I reveal that, I want to remind you guys to rate and review wherever you are listening. If you're not subscribing already and you've hung out with us for the last, hour and 40 or whatever we're at now, please make sure you subscribe and go back and listen to the past episodes so you can learn more about us and why we love Christmas so much. If you're not following us on social media, you can do that. Christmas Countdown Show on Instagram, Threads, TikTok, and watch full episodes on youtube.com/countdown network. And we should shout out where we've been so
holiday experience at the Simi Valley Town Center.
That's right.
At holiday_experience 24 million lights, 50,000 square feet of Christmassy goodness.
They just added something new in the back.
Oh, what
they have? You'll have to go see it at the reindeer.
Oh, I didn't see that. I saw the enormous inflatable Santa.
Oh, dude, he's so tall. He's too tall for the building.
Yeah,
So he's
yeah.
like peeking over a wall.
Yeah.
But they have these reindeer that are in the back, and they sort of built like a little wood fence around it. And there's like bales of hay you can sit on.
Oh, that's
and
great.
they sing.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and they sing they'll harmonize with each other, and it's all a cappella. Really, really cool. So make sure you check them out. And like Eric said, follow them on Instagram at holiday_experience24. Grateful to Jason and the team for hosting us here all season long. All right, last one. I shared something about this a couple of seasons ago, and when we were making this list, I felt like I had to bring it up again, and it sort of goes back to, I think, so much of what we've been talking about here in this list is the feeling of peace, right? Mm-hmm. And going back to what Nick shared earlier about, if you grow up in a broken family, a lot of times nowhere feels fully like home because you're always at some point or another being driven to somebody else's home. And then you grow up like me or anyone else who's been through the same, and you get married and you have kids, and then the home that you're in is your home.
Yeah.
And so I put my home.
That's good.
And the reason it matters so much to me is that I get to wake up on Christmas morning in a place that is my own. And more importantly, it's a place that I don't have to leave if I don't want to. And if you live that life, you know that like I think back to my Christmases as a child, and like I was so grateful to be there in the morning waking up with my dad or whomever, but I knew that at 1 o'clock I was checking the clock.
Yeah.
Because I knew that at some point during the day I was going to have to get in a car with somebody and be driven somewhere, or somebody was going to have to leave wherever they were at and come pick me up. Mm-hmm. And one, that's hard because you feel like you can't be fully present because you know that there's a ticking clock.
Right.
But two, you feel this certain sense of guilt about like, well, now I'm pulling these people away from this day that they want to have. And you just feel like you can't fully be there. And so now my home has become that place. Where I wake up is where pretty much every Christmas now I stay there.
Yeah.
And my family comes over and we're there together all day and nobody's looking at the clock. There's no schedule. There's no agenda. It's just us together on Christmas. And I'm grateful for it. And it has become something that means more to me than I can properly describe.
Good answer. Good answer. I love it. All right, folks, we're going to wrap it up, but thank you so much for being with us on this episode. We only have a few left.
We have one more countdown left. Should we tell the people what it is?
Yeah, that's a good one.
I'm so excited.
We've been building towards this countdown for years. It's going to be a dual countdown.
It's going to be like a clash of countdowns.
Yes. Danny is going to do a countdown, and I'm going to do a countdown, and then our countdowns will battle.
On social media, we'll let people
and
vote.
And it's going to be a boy band Christmas versus a pop punk Christmas.
Oh.
And I know I got Chris on my side.
Get ready.
I love it.
And I got Emilio on my side. Well, he's hanging out with Backstreet Boys right
Emilio's
now.
like, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
But it's going to be great. So we will be back next week with the first part of that countdown. But we want to say a huge thank you to Chris Sisley.
Yes. Thank you, Chris.
Big thank you to Emilio. What's up, buddy? And thank you for listening. Tell your friends about the show. We will see you next week, but we're going to close this one how we always do, by saying a very heartfelt Merry Christmas.
And Happy Holidays.
See you on the next one, everybody. Bye-bye.
See ya.